Hi, I'm Nick Ross for iTWire. Today we're with ManageEngine. Who are you and what is your role?
I'm Rajesh Ganesan. I've been with ManageEngine right since the inception of the company. So my current role is I head ManageEngine division. We are part of a larger corporation called Zoho Corporation. ManageEngine is a thriving business. Under Zoho Corporation, I lead that business unit.
And so how did ManageEngine first come about and why would companies want to work with you?
Yeah, about two and a half decades back was the time when businesses across the world were starting to think about adopting technology. So as an enabler, right? So they knew about the benefits of technology, how that could be leveraged. So they did a lot of investments, but you also wanted to know if you are getting the optimal returns out of those investments, which means I invest in a lot of new technology. How do I manage the technology infrastructure in terms of delivering services out of those investments? Does it reach the right people? How are they experiencing the benefits of technology? All of this needed some tools be available for these organizations. That's how ManageEngine came to be. We produce the tools that will help enterprises, that will help businesses measure good ROI and improve their investments in technology. So we have been doing this over the last 2 decades. Technology has changed. The cloud came. We are currently in the AI era. Our journey continues. So when companies move to the cloud or invest in AI, they want to be sure about their investments working right for them. That's where we come in. So we look at a lot of different things, data. We collect data. We analyze data. We help companies automate a lot of actions so they could derive best ROI out of their technology investments.
And how can ManageEngine help with compliance?
So I talked about a lot of things, right? So delivering services to your employees, to your customers, all of that. One part, right? So when everything goes digital, everybody is like tech savvy, right? In their personal capacity, in their business capacity, use technology. Is when we also started taking security seriously, things like privacy seriously. So like businesses have to comply with a lot of laws, right? So could be about income tax, could be about corporate governance. Same goes for technology, right? So when your business completely is underpinned by technology, there are very region-specific regulations which companies are required to comply with. And it's not very easy. Like if you have to comply with the income tax laws, what do? Lot of bookkeeping, lot of recording. You have to do internal audits, you have to do external audits. Same goes for technology. What you do with the data that you collect, right? So how do you store them? How do you process them? There are specific laws specific to each region. ManageEngine helps companies, organizations, the technology team, the security teams inside such organizations prepare for such audits, right? So you'll typically have internal and external audits. Internal audits would call for like every week or every fortnight. You have to produce reports, you have to reconcile a lot of stuff. And when it comes to external audits, say for example, if you're a company dealing with online trading, right, e-commerce, there are standards like PCI, right? So you accept payment cards. You are supposed to comply to various regulations. So it runs into sections. How quickly can you produce reports? How quickly you can demonstrate your readiness to the compliance helps companies be that much more productive. That's where our tools help companies. You deploy our tools, it can go look into all the components of the infrastructure, collect the data, reconcile, and present you in a format where you can readily face these regulatory audits. That's how we help.
Speaking of doing all those localized regional audits, how many regions do you actually work in?
I mean, we started operating in the North American region primarily. We are a company based out of India. But very quickly, like this is an industry agnostic solution what ManageEngine provides. We operate globally now, so we operate in 190 countries. Wow. In all the countries where we are allowed to do business with. So over the last 20 years, the journey has been like we started at 1, 2, 10, 20. Like we are now operating out of 190 countries. with direct presence in more than 20 countries. The rest of the regions, we have distributors, we have channel partners, we have system integrators. ManageEngine is a very big global ecosystem today. We operate globally.
Okay. And how does the industry in Australia compare to the rest of the world?
Australia has always been a very early adopter of technology. So since inception, so ManageEngine came to being in 2002, so we are in the 21st year of operation. Australia still continues to be our top 5 market in terms of revenues. Even though there are countries, there are regions fast catching up, Australia is still top 5 for us. We make a lot of significant investment in Australia. 3 years ago, we opened exclusive data centers that we operate ourselves to serve Australian customers with our own cloud services. Last year, we opened our own offices. We are like starting to hire people locally. So this will continue. So we are a global company with very exclusive focus given on local markets. When we talk about Australia, we have separate teams, separate business heads focusing only on Australia, and that will keep expanding.
I understand you've got some new data out that's really hot off the press, and part of it is about how companies are changing or managing personal identifiable information. Can you tell us about that and what you found?
Yeah, we talked about technology adoption over the last few decades. What it also meant is individuals started losing a lot of control about their own information, right? So as they said, when you talk about software, particularly cloud software, a lot of freeware came into being, right? So people expected cloud software to be free without realizing they are being productized, which means information about me that I give to the free service was sold to the markets outside. So I could be a target for being sold to things that I need or I don't need, whatever, right? But there was a point at which people didn't have any control over their own information. Once I give it to a business, I had completely no control. So there was a movement that started in the European Union about giving this power back to the individual. I am okay giving my data to a business, an online business. It could be anywhere. I could be living in Europe, but the business could be in North America or in Australia. But the right of the data about me should only be with me, right? So if I tell the business to erase the data, they should, without asking any question. If I ask them for a copy, they should give, no questions asked. So this was not something that other regions were aware of. This awareness is coming a lot into across the world, also in Australia. So this is what we call as personally identifiable information. Any business, including government, right? So collecting data about individuals, there are a set of laws that they have to comply with. Do they collect the data with the user's consent? That is very important. With explicit consent, they need to explicitly also disclose how they store the data, how they process, who they share the data with. When the user asks them to delete the data, do they delete, and also provide evidence that there is no copy, no trace of it is left. All of this is mentioned in the law, and this has to be complied without any compromise, right?
Yeah.
So that is catching up in Australia, specific data privacy acts, and we as a vendor supplying technology help companies with doing this, automating the whole thing.
Okay. And while you've got the whole iTWire B2B audience of Australia on tap, is there anything else you'd like to add and say to them?
I mean, nothing specific, but like I keep saying everywhere, this is a journey, right? So we have some specific problems that would never go away, which is the very reason for business to exist, which is to serve customers and grow your business, generate wealth, distribute wealth. All of that will never change. Those are the constants. Technology waves will come and go, disruptions will happen, all of that. Be ready to respond, right? So embrace the changes that come over, but never forget the basics. Why you exist, it is to serve your customers well, right? So, and then generate wealth for you and your society.
Okay. Well, Rajesh, thank you very much.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you, Nick.